You don't know what to charge for a mowing job? Stay tuned. I'm going to show you how to reverse engineer a good cost based on your competitors in your area. I'm Frank, and I'm all about helping business owners and entrepreneurs start and grow their lawn care business. So if you're looking to start or expand your existing lawn care business, make sure to subscribe, like, and hit the bell button so you're notified of my future videos. What's going on, lawn care pros? Here we are again. I'm driving around today because it's a nice day out. So let's get going. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to price a lawn for mowing. So I get asked a lot, somebody that's just starting out says, I don't know how to price this lawn. So I advertise and people are calling me and I want to know how much to charge for this lawn. So we're going to get into that. And again, this is going to kind of vary from one area to another, but we can really systemize this so it suits your geographical needs. And by the way, make sure that you stay till the end of this video, because when I get back to the office, I'm actually gonna measure a property or two or three and show you guys how you can measure a property right online, get the dimensions of that property, or basically the square footage. Here we are, Mrs. Jones's yard that called. I'm on hold with her. I'm measuring the property. It's 5,000 square feet. And I'm gonna look on my sheet here that says for 5,000 square feet, I'm gonna charge X dollars. It might be a little bit different for you, but I'm gonna show you how to get these numbers so you can quote someone right over the phone in 2 minutes or less. That's right, 2 minutes or less. I want people to call you. I want you to answer the phone. And you know how important that is because I have stressed that to you in other videos. Make sure you answer the phone. But when you do, I want you to quote that customer right over the phone. And most importantly, I want you to make the sale. And even more importantly, I want you to get that credit card. Get that credit card, get it on file, and let's go. Ready, guys? I'm not hearing you. Come on. Let's do it. So the big thing that I get asked a lot is, and it's an important question, very important question, and something I struggled with when I was first starting out. How much do I charge? No idea. No idea when I first started out. Well, it all depends on your geographical area. That's a good starting point. That's not your end point. That's a good starting point. So what I want you to do is do a little bit of research. Do a little bit of research on what your competitors are charging. And you can do this on a spreadsheet that has, let's say 5 competitors of yours, and you can find out how much they're charging for a specific lawn, right? And what I want to do is reverse engineer how much they're charging for a specific lawn based on the square footage. Follow me on this. So let's say you've never done a lawn before, you're brand new, you're going to find out what ABC Lawn Service or ZYX Lawn Service is charging for maybe your lawn, right? You're gonna go measure your lawn, and you're gonna do it online, and I'm gonna show you how. Stay tuned till the end of this video. You're gonna measure that lawn, and I'm gonna calculate for you. We're gonna reverse engineer. So if they're charging $50 for a 5,000 square foot lawn, we're gonna reverse that and we're gonna find out how much is that per square foot, right? Then we're gonna make up a little chart, right? So we're gonna make up a little chart that's gonna have how much they're charging for 3,000 square foot, 4,000 square foot, 5, 6, 7, 8. And maybe that's all you go up to. You're not doing big yards. You're not doing half acre. You're not doing full acres. You're not doing 12,000 square feet. It all depends. If you're going that direction, I can help you with that too. But let's stick to some of the smaller size lawns for now. And let's cap it off. We'll cap it off at a nice round 10,000 square feet. So what we're going to do is we're going to reverse engineer that. We're going to do some research on what the competitors are charging. We're going to get a baseline price. we're gonna go do a few lawns, right? You're gonna go actually do those lawns and you're gonna bid those lawns at those prices, right? Then you're gonna calculate how long it took you to do those lawns. Because we are not dependent on what other people charge. We're just using that as a baseline, right? We might charge a little bit more, we might charge a little bit less. But we're not gonna go and do exactly what they're doing. We're just using it as a baseline, because the reason for that is their cost to deliver those goods, in this case services, might be different than yours, right? That company might be charging a lot more because they have huge overhead. They have that, 5,000, 10,000 square foot facility that they're having to pay rent on, right? You might be working out of your garage, right? So your cost base is going to be different than theirs. So in order for you to have that competitive edge, you might charge a little bit less on that specific lawn. And don't worry, you're not leaving money on the table. What we want to concentrate is your bottom line, not always the top line. It's good to have a good top line, but what good is it to bring in X dollars and you're not bringing anything at the bottom, right? I don't care if you're bringing in $1 million on the top line and you're taking home 50,000. That doesn't work. That doesn't fly with me. I'm going to make sure that you make money to the bottom line. So anyway, back to the measuring, the pricing. So those are some of the things you're going to need to do as far as the homework goes, right? We're going to find out what the competitor is charging. We're going to reverse engineer by figuring out how much they're charging per square foot. We're going to make our little spreadsheet that shows us how much we're going to charge based on our actual going out and doing the lawn. Then the most important thing, we're going to go into it by showing you how to close that sale in 2 minutes. 2 minutes or less. Right there on telephone. I want you to get the credit card and be done with it.
All right, so now we're back at the office. I'm going to just go through with you guys on how to measure a property online. That way you don't have to go out and measure it physically like we used to back in the day with a measuring wheel. And this way you can measure the property online and give your customer a quote right over the phone. The software that we're using here is measurelotsize.com. That's going to make it a lot easier for you guys. Let's just drop in an address here. So now you can see that you get a pinpoint, or a pinpoint here. So we're going to just measure. We're going to go in to this property and I'm going to start at the curb. Now there's many ways to do this. Basically what you're trying to do is just measure the grassy area, right? So we want to get all the hardscapes out of the way. We want to get, like, if we have like some, like, looks like here there's no grass, maybe some pavers or whatever there. So I'm just going to measure right around there, and you can see how however detailed you want to get, you can, right? So here we are, I'm just measuring around there. It looks like a shed of some sort here. So I'll measure around that. Come back to the house. I'm not gonna worry about the AC units and such. That's such a nominal amount. We'll come back all the way to the street here. Then we'll go back to the property on the grassy area. Then we'll come back all the way to the back fence, and we're going to end it up here. And let's see what we have. We have roughly 2,748 feet of grassy area. So if you can see that, we kind of outlined all the stuff that we didn't want. Now you notice that I included a little bit of hardscape here and here. That's not really that big of a deal. If you want to drop it down a little bit, you can, or you can just get more detail whenever you do it. So I'm just going to drop it down to 2,700 square feet. So we're going to say that's 2,700 square feet. I happen to know how much this property is being billed on a weekly basis for mowing. A friend of mine does this lawn. So I'm going to just go here. We're going to open up this, All right, so now that we finished measuring that property, I just pulled up a Excel worksheet, and we're just going to drop in some numbers here. So let's say 2,700 was what we measured. That was the square feet. I happen to know that lawn, the person that's paying for that lawn, they're being charged $32.33 plus tax. So what we want to do is go and also get some pricing from other competitors, and maybe, you know, competitor one is 35, next one is 30, next one's 37. So we're going to have to do that research, right? Making some phone calls and such, so we can see that we're in line with what the pricing is for that area. So actually, this is the actual price, but if you didn't know that, that would be, you know, the competitor, right? 32.33 plus tax. Again, we say plus tax because that's the money that the plus tax part doesn't go to us. That goes back to the state. So we care about what goes in our pocket as far as trying to engineer what our pricing structure should be, right? So once you've measured that property, and let's say you come up with 2,700 square feet, and you've done your due diligence, found out what other competitors are charging for that same lot or same lot size, right? It doesn't have to necessarily be that same exact lot. We want to start inputting all this information into our spreadsheet, and that way we can kind of get an idea of what our pricing should be. You kind of want to do the same thing, go through different properties and kind of get an idea of what your competitors are charging, and we want to kind of figure out what we are going to be able to get per hour on these lawns, right? So if you go out and you mow this lawn by yourself and it takes you, let's say, 1 hour, right? So you just mowed, blowed, edged, and weeded this lawn. It was 2,700 square feet. And let's say, you know, let's look at the competitor number one. He's charging $35, right? And let's assume that's $35 plus tax. So if you were to mow that lawn, it took you 1 hour, then that would mean that you're making $35 an hour. And that's what, you know, you hear the terms, you know, I'm charging $45 per man hour. I'm charging $30 per man hour. So that's where you would get that number, right? So now if you had a helper with you, right, assuming you had a helper with you, and it should take you half the time, right? So when you pull up to the property, you and your helper start mowing that lawn, it takes you guys roughly 30 minutes, but that's 30 minutes of your time and 30 minutes of his time. So that still equates to 1 man hour, right? So you're still making $35 per man hour. So let's say you go to the next lawn and you're doing another lawn and it's $45, and it takes you guys an hour, right? Let's say 30 minutes, an hour total. 30 minutes of your time, 30 minutes of your helper's time, or maybe you're a solo operator and it takes you a full hour by yourself. So you just made $45 per man hour. Now, going back to the pricing, we want to keep track of all this, right? And kind of gauge to see what the market is willing to bear as far as what we can charge per man hour. And that's kind of how you're going to reverse engineer all this. First, you're going to go in and find what the competitors are charging, and you're going to try to be in line, and that's going to be your starting point, right? So, you know, if I've done this and it's $32.33 and I go in there and it takes me an hour, then I know I'm making $32.33 per man hour. But now if I want to, you know, increase that amount because the area is able to bear maybe $40 per man hour, then I would adjust that pricing accordingly, right? So that's kind of the way you're going to want to reverse engineer that, and eventually, once you have all this data, you'll have a price sheet. So now when a customer calls you on the phone, you're going to measure the property just like we showed you, and you're going to have a price sheet, and you're going to go to the square footage, right? So I just measured a lot size that was, 2,700 square feet. And I'm going to go to my sheet and it's going to say, you need to charge them $32.33. So if you could picture that, they call in, you measure it, and then you have the measurement, you look at your sheet tells you you need to charge $32.33, and that's what you tell the customer. Mrs. Jones, our weekly mowing for your lot size is $32.33 plus tax. There's some questions that'll go back and forth as far as, what day of the week and all that stuff. We'll go over all that, but right now let's concentrate on the pricing. And once Mrs. Jones is comfortable with that pricing, then you can just book that right over the phone. Great, I have Thursday available and we can get you on the schedule today. All I need is a credit card on file so we can get started. And once we get there, we'll perform the services of mowing your lawn. And as soon as we're done with that, we'll go ahead and charge you on the credit card. And that's it. Really, really simple. So you can imagine how effective this can be when you're running your business. You don't want to go out and measure the lot and look at the lot and that kind of thing. Now you are going to run into, special cases, right? Like how to handle first-time mowing. The way I handle first-time mowing is going to be maybe different than how other people do it. I charge a per man-hour basis on the first mowing. Mrs. Jones, on the first mowing, since we haven't been out there, I really don't know, when it was last mowed or if it needs extra attention because it hasn't been weed eated or edged. However you want to, present that, and we can make a video just for that for you guys. But once you present that to them, you can charge, or what I do is I say, the first time that we come out, it's going to be X dollar per man hour, right? And what I was charging, I charged at the time was $45 per man hour. That's what we would charge for cleanups. I treated the first mowing as though it was a cleanup, okay? And that way you kind of weed out the people that are like just calling to get that first mowing in there, right? And they haven't mowed in 6 weeks. And they just got a ticket from the city that says, hey, your grass is overgrown, you need to take care of this, right? And and if you don't know, you will know, when those people call, they're going to say, oh yeah, we just mowed it, it's recently done, it's not that bad, right? It's always not that bad. You're always going to hear that. So in order to eliminate those issues, I charge on the first mowing, we charge $45 per man per hour on the first mowing, or whatever that number is for you. Maybe it's $40 per man per hour for that first mowing. And Mrs. Jones, after that, your weekly mowing service for again, this is an example for the 2,700 square feet, it's going to be $32.33 plus tax, which happens to equate here where we are to $35. So I always say $32.33 plus tax, which is $35. That's what we're going to charge you every week that we come out. And that's really basically it. So again, the initial $45 per man hour or whatever you're going to charge for that first mowing, that's going to eliminate any guests work. What we're trying to do ultimately is not go out to the property to give them an estimate. We want to do it over the phone, because anytime you go out and give an estimate physically at the location, you just wasted an hour of your time, right? You drove there, maybe you talked to them, and then, just that drive time. That's just waste, right? And there's only one of you, right? And you don't want to hire someone just to do that when you can do all of what I'm telling you right over the phone, right? So eventually, you're going to do all this, and then eventually you can hire an office staff that's going to do other things for you, but this will be one of the things that they can handle for you, and they can give the bid, the estimate, right over the phone. So now, you just got to go advertise. Make that phone ring, and let your office staff take care of the rest when it comes to measuring the property and giving the estimate. So I hope that helps out. Make sure you comment or ask some questions in the comments. I know there's many ways to skin a cat. I know a lot of different ways to do this. This has worked really, really well. I think if you're just starting out, this is a really good way to get started. I digress, but make sure that you are writing down your times for each and every lawn. So if you go to lawn number 1, let's say you started at 8 o'clock, and let's say it's just you're a solo operator, right? It's just you. You start lawn number 1 at 8 o'clock. You pull up. You start mowing, edging, weed eating, blowing. You finish, and it's 8:55. Write that down on your production. I started at 8. I finished at 8:55. Now you're going to go to the second lawn. Maybe there's a 5 or 10 minute drive time. So on the second lawn, your start time might be 9:10. Maybe it took 15 minutes, right? So now I want you to record that. 9:10, and I finished at 10:10. It took me a whole hour on that lawn, right? And then that's when we can start really plugging in those numbers and seeing how much actual money you're making, right? We can plug that in, and I'll probably do a little spreadsheet for you guys so I can share it with you, and you can just plug in those numbers and it'll tell you you're making, $27.57 per man hour. Oh, that's not where I want to be. I want to figure out how to bump that. I want to be at 45. I want to be at 55. Again, these numbers, they're going to be different based on your geographical area. Texas is going to be different than New York, than Michigan, than California or Colorado, right? We want to pinpoint down what you should be charging for your geographical area, and then we want to really hone in on whether or not we're doing that, because we might have a customer that we're doing their lawn for, or several customers. Let's say lawn number 1 through 6, I'm tracking it and I'm making $40 per man hour. And then I go to that 7th lawn and lo and behold, I'm making $27 per man hour. The only way you're gonna really know that is by having data. And the only way you're gonna do that is by tracking your numbers. That $27, that's really costing you money, right? Unless you don't have the workflow. If you start getting the workflow, then you want to be charging $40 across the board, right? You want to make that extra $13 that day, because that $13 times 5 days, that's 65 bucks. That's pretty good. So keep track of your numbers. I hope this helped out. Make sure you leave comments, and we'll continue with looking at some other lawns that we're measuring for you. So stay tuned. My office assistant, she blows me away as far as measuring. What I just did, she can do in like 2 seconds. That's a little exaggeration, but you get the point. Right over the phone, you have a conversation with him while you're measuring it. Oh, okay, do you have any dogs? By the way, is your gate locked or unlocked? And we'll put together a list of questions, and it's gonna be different for you guys, so you can expand on those, right? In your area, you might want to get more information or less information, whatever that may be.
ABC Mowing, this is Kate. How can I help you?
Yes, ma'am. I'd like to see about acquiring mowing services from your company.
Yeah, what is the address?
It is 6926.
Perfect. And what's a good phone number just in case we get disconnected?
Yes, 817.
Okay, let me look that up for you.
Okay.
Okay, so for that property, it would be $32.33 plus tax per service for the mowing.
Okay, that sounds good. And when can you come out?
Yeah, we can get out there within a week to get the first service done for you.
Within a week? Okay. Will you call me before to let me know?
We certainly can. Do you have any dogs or a lock gate?
I do have some small dogs, but I will put them up and make sure they're secure.
Yeah, we can let you know what day it's going to be. And is there a community gate code to get in the community there?
No, there's not.
Okay. And then did you want to just pay as you go per service?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's go ahead and get a credit card on file. That'll lock in your place on the routes.
Oh, you need my credit card number now?
Yes, we do.
Oh, okay. Sure. It's It's 5152.
Expiration.
Is 8/24.
And same billing address is 6926.
Yes.
Okay. And what's the name on the card?
Charlie Johnson.
And that's what you want the account to be under as well?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. And how'd you hear about us?
I found you through Google.
Oh, okay, fantastic. Okay, good deal. Well, I'm going to get this all set up for you, and we'll give you a call whenever we're expecting to come out, and we'll just charge you per service as we go through them.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day. ABC Mowing.
Yes, I'd like to see about getting mowing services for my home.
Yeah, what is the address for the home?
Yes, it is 4117.
And what was your name?
Steve Jones.
Perfect, Steve. And what is a good phone number just in case we get disconnected?
Sure, 682.
Perfect. Let me look that up for you. Okay, so services for that for the mowing would be $36.50 plus tax per service.
That, do you come out weekly? Or?
Yeah, that's for weekly mowing. It's going to include mowing, edging, and blowing.
Okay, and then when can you come out?
Yeah, we can get out there in the next week to get that service started for you. And then we just need to get a credit card on file so that way we can lock you into the route.
Oh, you get my credit card information now?
Yes, and then we're just going to charge you per service as we go through them.
Okay, you're not going to charge me today?
No, we will do it after we finish the service for you.
Okay, all right. The number's 5152.
And the expiration?
Expiration's 0825.
Perfect. Let me repeat it back. I've got 5152, and then the expiration 0825.
That's correct.
Okay, and the same billing address?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, I'll go ahead and get that set up, and we'll give you a call when we're ready to come out for that first service.
Make sure to subscribe, like, and hit the bell button